Hello folks, welcome to a sort of introductory video for a new project on the channel. I want to say first and foremost that I've made pretty significant progress in the Sunshine review. I've already done two 100% runs already. I've recorded most of the footage I need with some exceptions. I've drafted a script and I've shared it with a couple of my friends and I've got some feedback on that. It's still not quite where I want it, and I want to make sure that a couple additional friends have a chance to review it first. So as soon as I get the script to where I want it to be, I'll start recording like camera segments and the voiceover and all that kind of crap. And as soon as the intelligent folks over at Magix update Vegas Movie Studio 14 to put disable resample back in, I will get to editing the video proper. But, you know, I had to do a lot of roundabout shit to get the frame rate looking proper in the final Super Mario 64 video. Like, I had to pump everything through virtual dub and resample it to 59.94 frames per second just to get the blurry crap to go away, because the people who released Vegas Movie Studio 14 decided to remove disable resample and wait 2 months to release an update that will actually fix it, and the only reason they are fixing it is because I told them to. So you guys can all thank me. But that's besides the point. So as for what this series is, what this video is, we're coming back to Sonic Adventure 2, and I thought I'd never do it. The plan was, I'll make this review, I'll make this remake or re-break episode, and then I'll never talk about this game again. That was the plan. But unfortunately, since then, I just have had the desire to do some kind of project on treasure hunting in particular, because I think it gets kind of a bum rap, and it's a bit disappointing from my perspective. So what I've decided to do, I mean, like, I always wanted to do a video of some kind, like it was either a review or some kind of let's play or a commentary. But what I've ended up deciding to do actually is a research project of sorts, where I'm basically going to be doing a content analysis of the treasure hunting stages in Sonic Adventure 2. And it's, well, it's not quite a content analysis, but, you know, it's somewhere along those lines. So basically what we're going to be doing here is, because there's kind of a lot of common wisdoms sort of surrounding this playstyle and how it works and what's true or not true about it, and I want to sort of, I just want to sort of examine those using some semblance of the scientific method here. So I have 3 research questions that I want to answer through this little project. First, does using hints in Sonic Adventure 2 treasure hunting stages reduce the amount of time a hypothetical inexperienced player would spend in treasure hunting stages? Second, does previous experience with the game reduce the amount of time that a more versed player would spend in treasure hunting stages? Finally, should those differences exist, how much does previous experience reduce the amount of time in stages compared to an inexperienced player using hints? So, yeah, 3 questions, and I have 3 hypotheses. So these are my expectations going in, just based on, I don't know, I guess my experience and my knowledge, I guess. First, I expect that doing a full hint run of each stage will considerably reduce the amount of time spent in those stages. Second, I expect that previous experience will also considerably reduce the amount of time spent in stages. Finally, I expect that more experienced players will complete stages quicker, but that the difference won't be as large, I guess. That the difference will not be considerably smaller than for an inexperienced player using 3 hints per stage. So I expect that experience will help, but not considerably more than simply using the hints on its own, regardless of experience. So those are my expectations coming into this, and so how do we go about testing that? Well, before I get into the methodology here, I'm going to be fully upfront when I say that there are a lot of limitations to the research design I have in mind. In an ideal world, if I had like all the funding I wanted and all the connections I wanted and could spend as much time on this as I wanted, and had the best and had access to all the tools I needed, I'd recruit 300 people for a study. I'd have 100 people who have never played this game before, just have them run through each stage and basically say, you're not allowed to use hints. Then I get 100 more people who haven't played the game before and say, use all of the hints for each shard, and see how long that takes them. Average it out for both of those samples. And then I'd recruit 100 additional people who have played the game before, hopefully, preferably for a long period of time, and allow them to play the stages however they want, just based on their experience, and then I just collect the same measurements. Then I'd run basically rigorous statistical tests, like to correct for demographic variables and experience with action games and all other sorts of stuff. I'd have like a survey for each person, and then I'd do like a regression analysis to correct for all that stuff. Then I compare the final numbers and see if my hypotheses were supported or not. So that's the dream research design if I had all the money in the world, but you know, obviously I don't. So I gotta make do with what I have. I'm only one guy, and you know. But that being said, I still think I have kind of a compromising approach that will works at least somewhat well for this purpose. So while these won't be like 100% accurate, and you should definitely take them with a grain of salt, I think that they will at least illustrate general patterns and give you an idea of, oh, this does have that effect, or doesn't. Who knows? I haven't collected all the data yet, so for all I know, everything I expected could not turn up. And everybody else could be right. Who knows? So here's how I'm going to be going about collecting data. I'm going to be doing 7 runs of each treasure hunting stage in Sonic Adventure 2. The first will be a newbie run, which is sort of my attempt at... Because I always hear these stories about, oh, I had to go through the whole stage 3 times to find all the emeralds. Like, the entire thing. So that's what the newbie run is. This is my attempt at recreating that nightmare scenario where you just have the worst luck possible, you have no idea where the emeralds are, and you end up having to go through the entire stage like 3 times. At least, and what I'm going to be doing with that as well is I'm going to be going to all the major sort of set pieces, and I'm going to be interacting with Omo Chow at each of those places. And sometimes they're duplicates, so I probably won't be getting all of those. I might make little mistakes here and there, but it should at least give us an idea of how long it would take on a first playthrough where the hypothetical first-time player has just the worst luck possible. It'll give us some sort of basis for comparison. It isn't like I said, if I wanted to get the best data possible, I'd recruit 100 people that had never played the game before and average them out. But I can't do that, so this is basically my sort of band-aid solution to that. The second run of the stages will be a full hint run. So what I'm going to be doing with that is it's like the newbie run, where I'm assuming no experience and no knowledge of the level design, but this person uses 3 hints for each shard. And I'm going to be assuming some confidence that if they see the hint and it says, "Go here, shithead," that they'll see that and be like, oh, I should go there. So that's going to be another sort of difficult, sort of fudgy data to work with. But again, I think it'll give us some idea of how much time you can shrink off from that nightmare run if you use the hints. And if it's considerably lower, that would seem to suggest that you could avoid a nightmare run if you do it that way. So, yeah. The remaining 5 runs are just going to be me playing the stages like I normally would, because I consider myself relatively experienced with these stages. Like, I've been playing this game for over 10 years. I think I have an idea of where some things are at least, so I'm going to be doing 5 runs just on my own using whatever strategy I want, and I'll be talking more about that in the commentary episodes. And what I'm going to be doing for that is do the 5 runs, and then I'm going to average them out and also calculate a standard deviation. The reason I'm doing 5 runs is because the stages are randomly generated. I wanted to get... It's better than doing just 1 run. If you get 5, then you can sort of control for that variation and see, like, on average, how long does it take an experienced player to complete the stage. And then what the standard deviation tells you is how far apart each of the individual 5 times are on average. So you guys can look up more in statistics if you're interested in that. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And then I'll take that trial mean and that full hint run score, and basically subtract the newbie run from that to get the difference, and then yeah, then we'll know if there's any difference there. So what I'm going to be doing is, this is going to be structured sort of like a Let's Play, but not really, because I'm only playing some of the stages in the game. I'll be uploading all the footage from my data collection to this channel with post-commentary like I'm doing right now, and I'm going to give my impressions of each stage and sort of discuss how all the mechanics work, and just give my responses to a lot of the common myths about treasure hunting, and just sort of talk more in depth, because like, while I covered in my review the treasure hunting sections in more depth than most people, it was still pretty shallow. Like, I could make an entire review on treasure hunting if I wanted to, because there's just that much to talk about. But I think that this will be more in depth. I think it will allow me to finally say my piece in all of this and be done. And if I ever have to talk about treasure hunting stages with anyone again, I can just say, I did this research project, go look at that. So, yeah. So, at the end of each of those commentary episodes, it'll be one stage per part. I'll list the times for each of the runs, along with the trial mean and the trial standard deviation, and the time differences. And so you guys will be able to look at that. And then after I finished collecting data for all 9 stages, I'll basically get a trial or grand mean for all of the stages for all of these. I'll get a grand newbie run score, I'll get a grand full hint run score, and I'll get a grand trial run score, and basically calculate those same differences and figure out, and basically answer my research questions based on the data I find. So yeah, there's a lot going on with this particular project, and yes, I am a crazy motherfucker for wanting to do this, but you know, I want to do it. It's an interesting challenge. It's something different, and you know, you guys get like kind of a new Let's Play sort of dealio out of it too. So lots to do, folks. So yeah. The first part goes up today, so go ahead and watch the episode on Wild Canyon. That should be available at the same time, so go ahead and enjoy that, and I will see you guys there.